Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United show. I was going to go live at 5:30 today, but I thought I'd go live at 5 because I'm actually out this evening and there's just so much news to get into regarding this Amrabat situation. So many more stories have come out from so many reliable sources about Amrabat, about other teams in the last sort of 2 hours or so. I've spoke to someone. I've got a bit of an exclusive story that I'm going to get into as well, adding to things on Amrabat and Gravenberch. But loads has gone on at Manchester United, and essentially what we've just learned from Padula, I don't know how you say your name, is that basically all it's going to take is a 17 million bid from United. Man United put in a loan offer for Amrabat, and it got rejected by Fiorentina. We put in a loan offer. The fact that we put in a loan offer, the fact that we've agreed personal terms with the star, and the fact that David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have confirmed we want the star, we know United are 100% in for Amrabat. We know that Teden 100% wants Amrabat. And if this deal does not happen, this is Glazeronomics, because now we've just learned from the 17 million bid from Nottingham Forest, which Fiorentina accepted. Yeah, 17 million. All we've got to do is match that bid, and then Amrabat is ours. All we've got to do is match that bid. Amrabat has rejected Nottingham Forest, so we don't have to worry about that. Amrabat rejected Liverpool. Amrabat rejected Juventus, Saudi clubs, Atletico Madrid, big Saudis. Amrabat's rejecting everyone for United. Then if we don't actually sign Amrabat, then no other player that we say, wait for us, will end up waiting for us, because they'll see what happened with Amrabat. And maybe Liverpool will see that 17 million bid and try the waters. But this is all now on United. If this Amrabat deal does not happen, this is the Glazeronomics, because it's not about FFP. 17 million is not about FFP. We've raised 27 million in sales now since we signed Højlund. Set 27 million. It only takes 17 million to cover Amrabat. We've just sold Teden Mengi, centre-back loan deal. That will be another million. You know, the wages we saved on Ronaldo, only doing loan deals. Man United have the funds to get Amrabat down. It will now cost 17 million. If United do not get it done, it is Glazeronomics, because I will tell you this now, and the Elite Pundit tweeted this, PL financial rules are nowhere near close to affecting Manchester United right now. So it's the UEFA one. Reality is United are using this excuse of FFP that can't be proven or disproven to cover the lack of spending, but it's such a lie. United's wage bill has fallen every season since Ten Hag's been here. United are not on UEFA's FFP watch list, Chelsea and City are, and United can sustain the spending. Of course, United can. The Premier League is making more and more money each season. Manchester United have made enough money in sales to afford Amrabat. This is a joke, and I'm surprised journalists are going along with this story. And essentially, it's been proven that actually FFP does not affect this Amrabat situation. This is just the Glazeronomics. It's 17 billion bid for Amrabat. We can bid 17 million without it affecting FFP. This is now on, will the Glazers do it or not? And I think they will have to do it because of the outrage if they don't do it. But essentially, they don't want to add another 17 million odd debt on top to a future investor or takeover. But Amrabat is the signing that makes a difference between us getting in the Champions League next season or us not getting in the Champions League next season. And the way I see it is, if we sign Amrabat, we're in the Champions League next season. If we don't sign Amrabat for 17 million, we're not in the Champions League next season, and we lose a lot of money and we lose sponsorship revenue for not being in the Champions League next season. But Amrabat is going to wait for United. Having the American owner is the worst. We won't be too insulting about the US, but yes, it's not the best situation to be in. And as things stand, Fiorentina won't accept a dry loan for Amrabat and will probably only accept it if it comes at least with an obligation to buy. 100%, that's said by Sky. So let's get into the news, because United have put in a bid for Amrabat. United have made a few moves for Amrabat, and I think you guys probably want to know what's going on, because it is really confusing. So essentially, I'm just going to break everything down for you here. So it was said, breaking, Manchester United are working on a deal to sign Amrabat. United hope to take Amrabat on loan rather than a permanent deal due to FFP regulations. That was said by Ornstein earlier. David Ornstein said Amrabat is keen on a temporary or permanent move to Old Trafford. However, a permanent is looking less likely because of Man United's financial fair play situation. Ornstein then added that Manchester United have honed their focus on signing Amrabat as they look to strengthen Ten Hag's squad, and Amrabat has emerged as the top midfield target. This was confirmed by Romano. Romano then said today on Amrabat that Amrabat won't be part of the Fiorentina squad for the game against Rapid Vienna. He only wanted to wait for Man United since the end of June. Fiorentina are still waiting for Man United's bid. And then TalkSport and other sources come out that Man United have put in a bid for Amrabat. However, Manchester United put in a loan bid for Amrabat, and this did not include an obligation to buy. This did not include a fee up front. This was just a basic dry loan offer for Amrabat, as said. And this was confirmed by Tier 1 source Demarcian. And what's particularly embarrassing about this, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but it's the fact that we actually did a 3 million loan fee for Cucurella. Cucurella is going to be here we go tonight. I've been told by a source that Fabrizio Romano is going to give us a here we go for Cucurella tonight, tomorrow, and that deal is really close. So do watch out for that, people. But essentially, like right now, what's going on, and I've got an exclusive story I want to get into in a second, is that United put in a dry bid for Amrabat, okay, and Fiorentina rejected this loan offer. But what's funny about this is we put a 3 million loan fee in for Cucurella like that, and then it's taken us 2 months to put in an Amrabat loan offer, but we don't even put money up front. It's not like we've offered Fiorentina 5 million up front and an Amrabat loan deal, but we're willing to offer 3 million up front to get Cucurella on loan. Yes, Luke Shaw's going to be out for a while. Yes, Malassi is injured. But at the end of the day, we've got Delo, we've got Lissandro Martinez to play left back, and we've got Alvaro Fernandez. Why are we happy to bid 3 million up front to get Cucurella on loan, but we're not happy to bid 2 or 3 million up front to get Cucurella on loan? Not Cucurella. So we're happy to bid 3 million up front to get Cucurella on loan, but we're not happy to bid 3 million up front to get Amrabat on loan, when surely Amrabat is a bigger priority than Cucurella. I mean, personally, that makes absolutely no sense to me, the way that we are literally just bidding on, Cucurella and saying, yeah, we'll do a Cucurella loan deal. Here's 4 or 5 million up front, Chelsea. Oh, Fiorentina want money up front for Amrabat. We do a loan deal. Oh, no, we won't do that as well. Amrabat only wants United, and that's why the deal is taking so much time. The thing is, Amrabat could have left Fiorentina 2 months ago. He had offers from Saudi Arabia, he had offers from Madrid, he had offers from Juventus, he had offers for Napoli, Nottingham Forest, and Liverpool. He is literally waiting out for United. Like, United should be arrested at this rate for torture if they don't actually get this guy done. They should actually, but you know what I mean? Like, he's actually waited so long and hard for United as well, and he's just going to wait longer and longer and longer. And 17 million is the price. They keep dropping the price. Guys, smash that like button if you think that's outrageous that United haven't put a 17 million bid in. They've just accepted a 17 million bid from Nottingham Forest. All Man United have to do is match a 17 million bid. I mean, if we do not get this done, this is criminal, because FFP does not affect this. We can spend 17 million without it impacting FFP. We can spend that right now as well. And let's be honest, as Tony Spike says, the United stand said Amrabat is United bound, and to be honest, Forest have no chance. Yeah, my source, who I trust, my source that said actually we're going to go for Pavard, then 2 days later that story broke. He says from what he's hearing, Amrabat is Man United bound, and Man United are going to find a way to do a loan. So Man United have only offered a dry loan. There's a feeling that Man United are going to offer a loan with an obligation to buy, and the reason that could happen, is because my source said that actually, although Amrabat has 1 year left on his deal at Fiorentina have an option to extend Amrabat's loan. And this is what my source said to me. And then just after my source said this to me, James Ducker came out with a similar story. And James Ducker said this. He said, given Amrabat only has a year left on his contract with a further option for a further year, Manchester United's offer should have certain obligations to stipulations for Fiorentina to sanction a loan departure. So I've got a source, and this is this guy I've spoken to a couple of times about a few stories here and there, and he's been pretty accurate. He told me about Pavard, he's told me a few things, and my source, and this is a bit of an exclusive story from me, from what I'm hearing from a source, is that Man United are going to actually right now work on a loan deal with an obligation to buy. Man United's loan bid was rejected, but Man United's loan bid was pathetic. Man United are trying to work on a loan deal, which would be around 5 million euros up front, something like that, and then an obligation to buy for 17 million, whereas Forest have bidded 17 million with, I think, 3 million in add-ons. But it's the fact that all we need to do is bid 17 million and Amrabat's here on a permanent. And if we were a proper run club, we would have Amrabat right now. If we were a well-run club, if we were a proper run club, Amrabat would have been him a month ago. Because the fact that we've watched the opening 3 games of the season and there's a gaping hole in the Man United midfield and people can run for us so easy and there's a lack of balance in the midfield, and we're 3 games into the season and we've got 2 midfield injuries and we're really unbalanced in the midfield, and there's a player that we agreed personal terms with 2 months ago that is waiting for United, that the manager has gone to the board and begged them to sign, and we have not signed, is absolutely criminal from United. The fact that this deal is not done is criminal, even if we sign him in the end, and I think we will sign him from what I'm hearing, and I'm going to get into a little bit of an exclusive story in a second because I'm hearing some really positive things, but I'm hearing some really good things. But the fact that he isn't actually a United player right now is embarrassing, because no other top club would be saying, oh, we can't bid until we sell someone FFP, but then be so useless at selling. This isn't to do with FFP. The funds it takes to bring in Amrabat, we've got from selling Dean Henderson. We've made 26.8 million pounds in sales so far. When Dean Henderson goes through, that will go to £46 million. Atley Bay and D is only 4 million. Cucurella will be another 5 million, plus the wages, that's 10 million. But there will still be the money there to do the Amrabat deal. So even though David Ornstein is saying United only want a loan, United do have the funds to bid for Amrabat. Murta and Arnold and Ten Hag are working on that. Man United are waiting for approval from the board. Now, the fact that Manchester United have approved Donny van de Beek's loan, now Donny van de Beek's got 3 loan offers now. He hasn't agreed to join them yet, but he will agree to pick one of those options in a second. The fact that Man United have agreed loan deals with Van de Beek says to me that there will be a replacement coming in, and this correlates with the fact that they are working on the Amrabat deal. And I think because Amrabat, Fiorentina can extend his contract, Fiorentina could negotiate with Amrabat about extending his contract for a year, and then that way, if they extend his contract for a year, he can go out on loan with an obligation to buy. And that is what my source is telling. My source that I've spoken to, is a bit of an exclusive Alice Talks football story in Amrabat, is that United are working on how they can actually do a loan deal for Amrabat. I mean, I think they should just bid 17 million and match this Forest bid. But my sources said we are working on an Amrabat deal like that at the moment as well. Alanga 20 million raised, Fred 10 million raised, Kova 9 million raised, but we still can't afford a gem for 17 million. It's criminal as well. Amrabat had offers from Napoli, Juventus, Liverpool on top of ours. He isn't going to Forest. Yeah, I mean, he rejected Forest. I probably should have clarified that he did reject Forest. I thought that was, everyone knew that as well. But he's not actually going to Forest. Well, he could go to Forest, but I don't think he will. Let me actually get this story up, because I probably should have clarified. I thought I did clarify at the start of the video, just so I don't confuse people, that yes, there was a 17 million bid from Forest, but again, here it was said Nottingham Forest have agreed a 7 million fee with Fiorentina for Amrabat. However, the player rejected them. So just to clarify, my whole point of this video isn't me saying that Amrabat's going to Fiorentina. No, so Amrabat's going to Forest. Amrabat's not going to Forest. The whole point of this video is the fact that we officially know all it takes is a 17 million pound bid to get the deal done. Nottingham Forest have accepted a 17 million bid. They accepted a 17 million bid. The player will not go to Forest. But it's the fact that all Man United need to do is go and match that 17 million bid. And Amrabat is effectively a Manchester United player. It's just, I just can't get my head around it. I don't know what you guys think, but I can't, like, as Lord Vane said, just get it done. I agree as well. 2 days left, running out the clock. You know what? This is going to be, these next 48 hours are going to be excessive. There's going to be a lot going on in the next 48 hours, and I'm not really going to annoy it as well. Mick says, big up Alice, I'm relaxed about Amrabat, he will be a United player. I'm relaxed about it too. I got a source telling me a little bit of information that United should get this done and over the line. It's one of those that if we don't get it done, it is the owners absolutely messing up big time. Murta and Arnold want this done, Ten Hag wants this done. We've been working on this for ages. Effectively, if this deal is not done, it is those higher up at the club that are really letting down Erik Ten Hag, and the belief and the feeling is that it will be done from reliable inside sources as well. So I am confident that the Amrabat deal will be done, guys, as well. But it's just crazy how difficult we're making it. Such an obvious player that we need to sign. It's just crazy how difficult we're making it as well. I suppose if we get him for 17 million versus 25 million, it was worth the wait. I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, I guess from a financial perspective, you can say it's worth the wait, and you could say fair play to the board. But at the same time, I'd say, is it really worth the wait? Because actually, had we had Amrabat in for pre-season, had Amrabat played versus Spurs, could we be on 9 points instead of 6 right now as well? I've got Fabrizio Romano notifications on at the moment in case we get any updates on Amrabat. But I tell you what, that guy, he tweets so much. He's fantastic. He never stops working. But my word, this guy, he's always tweeting. My phone's going bleep, bleep, bleep. But I've got more interesting things to get into. So Anil of TalkSport made a big statement on, again, of course, Amrabat and TalkSport are quite good when it comes to transfer news. I know they get a lot of silly people on TalkSport like Gabby Abon-Lahore and stuff, but in terms of their actual journalists that get information like Alex Crook and Anil, they tend to be quite accurate. And he said that Amrabat to Man United is moving in the right direction. The deal would not be possible without the desire shown by Amrabat to join. It would come as a big surprise if the move didn't happen before the 11 p.m. deadline. Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein have pretty much hinted that they'd be very shocked if this deal didn't go through. I think the fact that all the tier 1 sources in the space are saying we'd be shocked if the deal doesn't go through says that basically Amrabat is on track and there's nothing to be worried about. We've got a few other stories coming in on Gravenberch. United is still exploring Gravenberch. However, Gravenberch is not the priority, Amrabat is. So right now we've been told that Manchester United's #1 priority is Amrabat, followed by Gravenberch. But if there's a late move for McTominay, they would go for Gravenberch on top of Amrabat. And if there's more funds made through sales as well, Alice, what would you rate the transfer window if we get Amrabat? Probably a 6. The reason I say 6 is I think just how slow we've been, just how little outs have been done. I think had we sold McTominay and Maguire, brought in Amrabat, brought in Gravenberch, and brought in Teden, I would have given it an 8. I would have given it a 9. If we just sold McTominay and Maguire and got Amrabat, Gravenberch, and Teden, I would have given it probably a 9, and probably a 9. And the reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because we missed out on Kim Min-jae and we missed out on Harry Kane. But realistically, we didn't have the funds to do Harry Kane, and Kim Min-jae knocks it from a 10 to a 9 because we should have just given Maguire the boot and really gone and got a Kim Min-jae done early. Now, Man United have completed the centre-back deal today, and I'm really happy with this centre-back deal. It is Teden Mengi, who is a fantastic young player, and he's going to go on to Luton Town. And maybe this is just me, but I always think it's really nice to see players from the Man United academy that maybe don't make it at Man United, but they end up having a career in the Premier League. It's nice to see Andreas Pereira having a career in the Premier League. Players like Alvaro Fernandez might get Premier League loan. Players like Teden Mengi are going to go and play in the Premier League. You know, Pellistri is getting a Premier League loan. Brandon Williams is a Premier League Championship player. I think at the end of the day, only 2 or 3 players from each year are capable of making it at the United level. But to have a lot of players that still make it as Premier League players, and Teden Mengi's had awful problems with injuries, I think it's really nice to see as well. And although I think Luton will get relegated, I'm happy for Teden Mengi and that this move is set to go through as well. Guys, everybody in the comment, rate this transfer window out of 10. I think, you know, right now, I'd say it's because of how slow it's been, it can't be particularly high as well. And Nick says, Anil is spot on. We have a podcast tomorrow at lunchtime. Make sure you check out Nick's channel. We're doing a podcast. And Anil was essentially talking about basically Amrabat being very close, and he's pretty accurate with his information as well. He's not like Samuel Luckhurst, who's been telling us for the last couple of weeks that we don't want Amrabat, and if we wanted Amrabat, he would have been a United player by now. And you know, people believe that, but I said, well, if Romano and if Fabrizio Romano has been saying for 2 months we want Amrabat, if Tomarzio has been saying for 2 months we want Amrabat, Paduda has been saying for 2 months we want Amrabat, and Samuel Luckhurst is claiming we don't want Amrabat, believe it or not, I'm going to believe the 3 other sources. But you know, it was good today that David Ornstein even came out with that report just to confirm United's interest in Amrabat, because I think a lot of people today were effectively doubting that move. Oh, Alice, is the Amrabat deal going to go through? There's also another surprise deal expected to happen. Charlie McNeil was expected to leave on loan before the deadline. Cucurella is expected to be announced tonight or tomorrow, and then Man United will give Alvaro Fernandez the green light to go on loan to Granada. But Manchester United is still sceptical whether to let Facundo Pellistri go out on loan. That's one to keep an eye on. There's a feeling that Man United might not let Facundo Pellistri go out on loan just because of the lack of goals and lack of depth in attack, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because I think I'm actually kind of at the point where I think we might need Facundo Pellistri with Antony's inconsistency and stuff. But at the same time, the fact that Amad Diallo will be back from injury in a month, and one of Facundo Pellistri or Amad Diallo is just going to get no minutes, then I think I'd loan out Pellistri because I think he would benefit so much from a Premier League loan. And then maybe when Amad Diallo comes back, play him in and involve him. And then if he's not looking particularly good, loan him out in January. Because I think Facundo Pellistri and Alvaro Fernandez, I'd prefer to have a Premier League loan. I think they would really benefit from Premier League loans. But at the same time, unfortunately, I think that we're in a position where actually loaning Pellistri would be stupid. Although it's better for his career, it might not be better for United because of the problems we have in midfield. Now, we've actually been linked with a move for Ansu Fati today, but I think it's just paper talk. Because reportedly Spurs are quite close to a move for Ansu Fati. However, Ansu Fati is waiting to see if Liverpool, United or Chelsea, bigger clubs, make moves for him. Doesn't seem too keen on Spurs. So there are a few reports coming out actually suggesting, you know what, like Man United are in for Ansu Fati right now. United are trying to get the Ansu Fati deal over the line. So I think it's just paper talk, but we'll see. I'm asking everybody in the chat to rate the transfer window out of 10 so far. We've got a lot of threes, a lot of fours. A 6, a 4, a 3, a 3, a 5, a 4, a 4. I think it's a 4 right now. A 3, a 2, a 4, a 5. Yeah, a lot of people saying 4s. I think 4 is probably the most accurate thing, because at the end of the day, we've got a striker and a goalkeeper that were really important, and we've got a midfielder. While Mount wasn't a midfielder I particularly wanted, why Højlund isn't an experienced striker. I think the Onana signing was key. I think Højlund will be a good signing, and Mount was someone Ten Hag wanted. So I'd give it a 4, but Amrabat takes it to a 6. And we've got to have at least a 6 out of 10 transfer window. I mean, it's a generous 4, but I'm hoping that Mason Mount kind of works out as well. And Alice, we know that Amrabat is the priority, but we are too slow in getting deals done. John Murta is not fit for this role at United, even Arnold. Yeah, true. But the one thing I will give Murta and Arnold the benefit of the doubt for is I know for a fact, and I know from my source, that Murta and Arnold are trying to get this Amrabat deal done. Murta and Arnold wanted this Amrabat deal done weeks ago. It's the Glazers. Murta and Arnold have literally can't do anything until the Glazers release them the funds. And this is I think Murta and Arnold should go. I think that we need Qatar to come in and they need to sack the whole board. But we can't actually go in on Murta and Arnold because for this one time, we're thinking, what are the board doing? 17 million Amrabat, get it done. I get everyone saying, like, what are the board doing? Amrabat, 17 million, get it done. But this is like the one time when Murta and Arnold are trying to get the deal done, and they've done everything they can. They're just waiting for the funds to be released. Like, they've agreed the personal terms. They've had the contact. Basically, Murta and Arnold have nothing more to do. They're just waiting for the Glazers to give them the money so they can start negotiating. So this has actually got nothing to do with it as well. Probably a 6 out of 10, even with Amrabat. Have to compare business to our rivals as well. Yeah, and that's why I gave it a 6 out of 10, because you look at Arsenal signing Declan Rice, you look at Chelsea signing Moises Caicedo, Lavia, Chelsea trying to do a deal for Musiala, which is absolutely crazy. So you have to give it a 6 out of 10 as well. My phone is just going buzz, 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 buzz. But I do have some interesting stories to get into as well. Man City asking for 45 million for Cole Palmer. Why can't we get decent fees for our academy players? It's insane. Man City had a loan player that went out to Bolton on loan, and they sold him for 20 million. We have players like Amad Diallo that we'd probably accept a 7 million bid for, and he was one of the players of the years in the Championship. James Garner was one of the best players in the Championship last season. He went for 15 million. Not that he's been great at Everton, but I think Everton's a poorly run club. But if Man City had a player that was one of the best players in the Championship, they'd sell them for 40 million the next year. It's absolutely crazy, the fees that Man City get. And honestly, it's completely unfair as well. Alice, regarding the talk about the last-minute transfer window incoming, will it be just talk, or do you think we'll sign someone? I believe we'll sign someone. I've spoken to someone. I've spoken to a source, and I'm not someone that sits here and I say, oh, my source this, my source that. I'm not an ITK, but I have someone that I speak to every now and then that is a really good source of information regarding transfers. And he said stuff to make me very confident that the Amrabat deal will happen and the Amrabat deal will go over the line. The only way this Amrabat deal happens is if the Glazers just be bigger knobs than normal. From what I've heard, CUCURELLA, Amrabat and Bayindir, they will happen. We will have 3 new signings, the goalkeeper, CUCURELLA, and Amrabat. Potentially 4 new signings. Now, there's a potential there could be 4 new signings on one condition. And this is something that might massively advance on deadline day. This is something to subscribe, because deadline day is 48 hours away. There is reports coming out that Bayern Munich are going to make a deadline day 35 million bid for Scott McTominay to test the waters. Now, Man United will accept that bid if they feel that they can get the replacement in. Now, Man United could get a replacement in for McTominay within an hour. When Man United have business to do, they get it done quick. They just like to be slow. And from what I'm hearing, there will be 3 deals done. CUCURELLA, unless Chelsea be knobs, but that is like this close to an agreement, and we will get into that. Amrabat, from what I'm hearing, is very close to being done. Is expected to actually be done tomorrow, not even deadline day. And then obviously Bayindir is essentially done, and that was going to be announced today, but I think because it's such a crap signing, they probably won't announce it. But I think Crystal Palace, plan to announce Dean Henderson tomorrow, which essentially proves that. But there could be a 4th deal for Gravenberch, because basically Bayern Munich want McTominay, and they don't want to pay United's 40 million fee. And from what I'm hearing, they might even try a 30 million fee with Gravenberch on loan in return, because then, you get Gravenberch on loan, maybe he'll come back. The player was meant to be at Bayern Munich, or we get McTominay, you've got your replacement in, so that you can afford to sell McTominay for less because we've given you replacement and you don't have to pay the loan fee. So watch out on deadline day, because United won't do anything until things are done. But Donny will leave. 100% Donny will leave. And this is why I know Amrabat's going to be done, unless we mess up badly. And the reason, even though other teams are putting in bids, he was just rejecting everyone for United. I'm 100% sure Amrabat will be done, because I know Donny will leave. Yes, Donny's loan offers are from Lorient and Italian clubs, and not very good clubs. But if Donny's got 4 loan offers from average clubs, or the opportunity to stay at United, Donny will take one of those 4 loan offers, because Donny knows he needs minutes. He wants minutes so badly. I know that for a fact. So when Donny leaves on loan, his wages are paid for a year. That will obviously give the green light for Amrabat to come in, which United are working on. If McTominay goes, United will try and do a deal for Gravenberch. So there's a lot of advancements that could really happen late in the window and a lot of stories coming in. So please do smash that like button, people, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. I've got a few breaking stories to get into a second. A lot of you are saying 3 out of 10. I'm just looking at your transfer window rankings. A lot of you are giving the transfer window a 3 or 4 out of 10. And to be honest, I think, you know, the fact that the Amrabat deal has been handled so badly is poor. Someone said that MUFC MPB has put out a new tweet. Is there any? Let me see if there's any breaking stories coming out right now. Then let me get into this tweet here. So it said Amrabat to United is now moving in the right direction. So that is literally what we just read out about 20 minutes ago, and it's just being tweeted now. Lots of good sources essentially confirming that Amrabat to United is moving in the right direction, despite the bid being rejected by Fiorentina, and despite Nottingham Forest putting in a 17 million bid. Amrabat rejected that, and it's still the feeling that deal was moving in the right direction. How much will Mengi join Luton Forces? Alex Marmon. Mengi will reportedly join Luton for about 1 million. Manchester United have this thing, this transfer window of let's sell all our youth players for £1 million. United have got an absolute obsession with £1 million transfers. It's crazy. We've sold Emeram for 1 million. I think we sold Laird for 1 million. Man United have a thing about let's just sell everyone for 1 million. It's just like, surely we could get a bit more money for these players. Like Man United can get a lot more money for these players, but Man United, unfortunately, silly, aren't they as well? We can go in on Murta and Arnold. They have to know when to walk away and what our priorities are, odd decisions in the window. And I somewhat agree with that, but I think the Amrabat, I don't think is on them, just because we're trying to get it done and lack of funds as well. And we need a proper academy centre back to come through at some point. Been ages as well. It has been. And Mengi was always thought to be that one, but he had a few injury problems as well. And Will Fish always seems to get sent off as well. We've got over 1,000 people watching, guys, so please do smash that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date and all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I will be back tonight with an exclusive video on transfer news, and I'm getting some insight that Amrabat could be done tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe for that. Yes, obviously Fiorentina accepting 17 million bids for Amrabat, but they've got no power. The player only wants Manchester United as well. But I want to get into this story. I've got some interesting news to get into. I've got some big stories to get into for you guys, and I think you're going to enjoy these stories. So anyway, let's start with the centre-back deal that's essentially been done. The fee is reported to be about £1 million. And it has come out just now that Teden Mengi is set to join Luton Town on a permanent deal on loan. A permanent deal on loan. What's she talking about? Permanent deal. Teden Mengi is set to join on a permanent deal. That is a sale done. It will only raise about 1 million in funds, so it's not really going to go much towards the Amrabat deal. It was also said that Charlie McNeil was likely to leave on loan, as well as Alvaro Fernandez once CUCURELLA is done. David Ornstein has come out and said United are actively working on the Amrabat deal, but David Ornstein also spoke about Gravenberch just now, and David Ornstein has said on Gravenberch that Man United have considered a number of players for the defensive midfield position, including Bayern Munich's Ryan Gravenberch, but they've not made any progress on him. The priority is Amrabat. Now, the more interesting story that's coming out right now is Fabrizio Romano is saying that the CUCURELLA deal is very, very close. And Fabrizio Romano said, Justin, Chelsea and Man United are negotiating for Marc Cucurella, and the final fees will be less than Chelsea's demand of 7 million. And that is expected the player will join United. So Fabrizio Romano has come out just now in his own words and essentially said that it's expected that CUCURELLA will join United. Fabrizio Romano basically said it won't be 7 million and that CUCURELLA will join United. So really big story there coming in from Romano. I will get into a few live chats in a second, but I actually recorded a really cool video today. I've done a video where I've actually done a big analysis on Amrabat and exactly what Amrabat's going to add to United and exactly why Amrabat is Manchester United's priority signing. So it's going to be a really good video coming out. And I've basically done also my Here We Go Amrabat video, because I've got indications that we could get Here We Go for Amrabat tomorrow if all things go well. So I've actually pre-recorded that video, but I wanted to give a little bit of insight into why Amrabat is so important for United in a second as well. Axel, Roshawn and Mengi all promising at one point, but must be since Wes Brown and O'Shea. We've had a proper academy centre back, and you're absolutely spot on. Wish Amrabat could play on Sunday. I agree. Yeah, I mean, maybe he can. I don't trust Man United to do this deal as quick and efficiently to get Amrabat playing on Sunday. But if Amrabat can play versus Arsenal on Sunday, that would be absolutely brilliant, because the thing is, Manchester United at the Emirates, you know, Mount is injured. Eriksen can't play in those big games because he can't keep up with the tempo. And Scott McTominay is not good enough. So effectively, we've got Casemiro, we've got Bruno, we've got a big gaping hole where we've got to choose between McTominay for defensive balance or Eriksen because he's actually a decent player and actually can drop deep and help him build up, and McTominay is useless at that. If we get Amrabat signed, sealed, delivered, done deal tomorrow, medical done, all sorted, he could play on Sunday. If we were a proper club, we'd be saying, wow, like if we can't do him on loan, all we've got to do is bid 17 million and he can be a United player. If we put a 17 million bid right now, Amrabat could be in Manchester tonight. Amrabat could be doing his medical tomorrow, and Amrabat could be announced in 24 hours. If we were a proper run club, if we were a good club, if we were an effective club, Amrabat could be announced in 24 hours from now if we get moving John. And yeah, but basically it's so important that Amrabat is here to play versus Arsenal, and it's so important that Manchester United do advance. And from what I'm hearing, we are working on this deal, and there's a feeling that we could get here. We go for Amrabat tomorrow, which I will get into. But people don't realise that Amrabat has got what we need in possession. Amrabat has got everything that Manchester United are lacking in terms of possession. Amrabat is someone that can break lines with his passing. He's very good in the first phase of play. Now, Wan-Bissaka and Varane. I love Wan-Bissaka. I love Varane. They're my first choice right back and right centre back. However, Wan-Bissaka and Varane's weakness is build up. They're not the best on the ball. They're good defensively. They're good at defending. But it's build up. It's getting the ball from the defence to the midfield, playing through the phases. It's fine because we've got Lisandro Martinez, Anana, and Luke Shaw on the other side. But when Wan-Bissaka and Wan-Bissaka and Varane play together, you can notice that United aren't as good in build up as said B. Now, the interesting thing about Amrabat is Amrabat has the ability, and he's done this for Fiorentina, to drop between the centre-backs and help the build-up because he's really good at playing those line-breaking passes, which means that United can control the game better, move the ball quicker, and play better possession-based football. A lot of people don't know this about Fiorentina, but they are a possession-based side. Only Napoli had more possession in Serie A last season than Fiorentina. Fiorentina averaged 58% possession a game. Now, Erik ten Hag wants to be a possession-based side, but his signings was Mason Mount to play in midfield. Mount, Bruno, Casemiro cannot play possession-based football because Casemiro is very good defensively, but his strengths aren't on the ball. Bruno is a creator, and Mason Mount's known for his work rate and off the ball. He's not a retention-based player. Amrabat can play possession-based football, and if Ten Hag wants to move to this possession-based style, which he's been trying and it's not quite working, Amrabat is the key player that is needed to make that happen because Amrabat can play possession-based football. He does that for Fiorentina. He plays as their lone six who drops beneath the centre-backs, that stops transition, scans the ball, but also is a volume passer that can retain the ball. And Amrabat ranks in the 99th percentile for midfielders for long passes, switches of play, progressive passes, passes forward, and of course volume passing. Amrabat is that player that Man United need, especially in that Arsenal game, that can just progress the ball forward, that can sit deep, pass the ball forward, keep control of the ball, improve retention, improve general control of the game. And that is why Man United need to go all out for Amrabat. He is so crucial versus Arsenal because he's going to help them build up, and that's been costing us a lot. The lack of striker is probably the biggest issue because we are actually creating the chances, and Man United have had the second most big chances in the league this season, but ranked 10th for goals. So when Højlund comes in, that's crucial. But there's a lot of negativity around Man United, and I think there's a lot of people freaking out at the moment in the Manchester United fan base, understandably, but a lot of people don't realise that, look, if the addition of Amrabat and Højlund in the squad is going to make a big difference because Højlund is going to feast on those chances we are creating. Man United are creating lots and lots of chances at the moment, and there's no doubt in my mind that Højlund will feast on the chances being created at Manchester United. But more importantly, Amrabat, as I've said, can drop between the centre-backs, which is exactly what Kobbie Mainoo did in pre-season. The reason we looked good in the games Kobbie Mainoo played in pre-season, and we won all the games Kobbie Mainoo played in, and we lost all the games he didn't play in, is because Kobbie Mainoo allowed us in possession to have a midfielder that dropped between the centre-backs, which would allow the full-backs to invert, play in the midfield, and it would improve build-up. So for me, that's what Amrabat's perfect at. And as Alex B said, Amrabat is an efficient, high-volume, progressive passer, proper ilk we need, who has a high pass completion percentage. Exactly. Essentially, Amrabat is literally everything United need, and Amrabat's probably the best qualities on the ball, but he definitely has physical tendencies. Like, obviously, I think, you know, we can all admit that Casemiro is probably one of the best DMs in the world defensively, but Amrabat is one of the best DMs in the world in the ball. Rodri's kind of the lucky guy that's got it all, but where Casemiro lacks, Amrabat makes out for, which is why I think that although we're probably bringing Amrabat in mostly to be cover for Casemiro, which is really important, people don't understand how important Amrabat being covered for Casemiro is. Amrabat means that we can rest Casemiro, but also means if he gets suspended or injured, we've got a replacement there, because Casemiro is getting to that age where I think if we play him every single game, he's just going to be worn out. The last few seasons we had with Matic, if Matic was playing once a week, he was fantastic. If Matic was playing every game, he was poor. And I think if we want to prolong and make the most out of Casemiro, we're going to need Amrabat to allow us to do that. We're going to need Amrabat to allow us to put Casemiro on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And rest him and play once a week. And that's what Mount will do with Eriksen. I think Eriksen, when he plays, is going to have a really good season because we're not going to be playing him left, right, and centre, apart from at the moment. And with the Champions League games coming up, you don't want to play Casemiro every single game. So Amrabat gives us this ability to prolong Casemiro, have backup there, actually have cover there because it is McTominay and he's just not good enough if something happens. But also Amrabat completely and honestly, completely and utterly just covers everything that we need. In terms of the complete player that will just complement Casemiro so well. And for me, to see this signing available for 17 million and, Fiorentina accepting 17 million bids and us not doing anything is criminal. But I want to show you this exactly what I put up here. This is my tweet on the situation. And I've just realized I'm not sharing my screen. I thought I was sharing my screen. I actually wanted to get a few things on the screen here. But it obviously was said, value for money, there's no better realistic deal Man United can do right now than Amrabat. Can play as a 6 and an 8 and has the ability to drop deep between the centre-backs. We saw Maino do this in pre-season. Fiorentina are a possession-based side, and Amrabat is key for them. Erik ten Hag wants to move to possession-based football. I also said Amrabat is a great volume passer, long passer, and can break lines much better in possession than Casemiro and will improve us in build-up. Wan-Bissaka x Varane are not the best in build-up, so Amrabat's ability to drop deep between the centre-backs and pick up the ball can help us. But most importantly, Amrabat will help balance the Man United midfield, which seemed very open in the opening games. Not only is he great at stopping transitions and reading the game, but he can help control the games and improve retention. Get it done. And that was everything I kind of said on the whole Amrabat situation. Like, it's just so important that we get the deal done. I think it's the most important thing. But as you can see, he just adds so much. He just is everything we need in it. And again, I'm going to just rant, and you might say I'm repeating myself, but the fact that this deal hasn't been done, the fact that the Glazers aren't releasing 17 million to get this deal done and pretending it's about FFP is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal. And I saw a really good thread here on Amrabat, but the thread highlighted a few things. You can see Amrabat's heat map, the amount of distance he covered, but he did a really good analysis here of Amrabat and Casemiro. And the red is Amrabat, the blue is Casemiro. And as you can see with this analysis statistic here, where Casemiro lacks, where he's particularly low in those passing and deep progression stage, Amrabat's really high. Amrabat's in like the 97th percentile for these kind of passing stats, where Casemiro's in like the 30th or 50th percentile. So while, Casemiro is much better defensively, you can even just see with these statistics that Amrabat really would complement Casemiro playing well next to him. And you can see here that Amrabat ranks second for pressures in Serie A, and you can see just general Amrabat's play. It's very good as well, and very much helps on the right hand side as well. Guys, please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and share the video. I've got a few more interesting stories to get into, so do stay tuned. There's a lot of interesting news coming out on the whole Amrabat situation and everything going on at United as well. So keep smashing the likes, keep subscribing as well. Amrabat should 100% move. Not loan, he's our future. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if the only way we get him to loan deal, I will get him on loan. But a permanent deal would be ideal. I think the fact that we're not applying for a permanent deal is crazy as well. And Sunday's going to be our biggest game of the season. The thing is as well is if we play Arsenal at home, I always back United to win. If we're ever playing Arsenal at home, I'm confident I back United to win. But when we play Arsenal at the Emirates, I'm always worried. I'm always scared. Like, I hate to admit this, but I am particularly worried. And I'm particularly scared going into this game. Arsenal at the Emirates is not a good game for us. And the fact that we could be going there with no Maino, no Mount, no Varane, no Luke Shaw, no Malacia, no Højlund is particularly worrying and particularly scary for me. It really is. And, I don't like to admit that, but that is the case. So I think for me, it's not even an option about, when do we get Amrabat done? It's like, no, Amrabat has to be done now. It's not even an option. It's not even a choice. We need to be getting Amrabat done now for that game against Arsenal. Do you know what I mean as well? Imagine Amrabat, Gravenberch and Maino midfield covered. This is the thing. Maino replaces Donny. No, sorry. Amrabat replaces Fred. Maino replaces McTominay. And Gravenberch replaces Donny. That's fine. That's upgrades, people. That's upgrades. But Man United don't think like that. For me, the way I see it is Sabitzer's gone, Mount's in. Boom, that's one upgraded. All right, Fred's gone, Amrabat in. Boom, that's two upgraded. Donny's gone, Gravenberch is in. Boom, that's three upgraded. McTominay gone, Maino in. Well, that's just an academy player for a more exciting academy player that will probably be better than McTominay, that's more technical and more suited to Ten Hag style. Boom, boom, boom. That is a call to midfield overhaul. Liverpool, I know they missed out on Moises Caicedo and Lavia, but they didn't. It's like they tried. Liverpool bidded 50 million for Lavia, didn't want to come to them. Liverpool put 110 million bid down for Caicedo, he just wanted to go to Chelsea. We can't put 17 million down for Amrabat, but Liverpool can put 110 million down for Caicedo. Do you know what I mean? 17 million for Amrabat, we won't put down, but Liverpool can put 110 million for Caicedo. Liverpool lost Tennyson, lost Fabinho. They went and signed McAllister, and they went and signed Szoboszlai straight away. They've signed Endo as a just-in-case James Milner replacement. There's no doubt in my mind that Liverpool are going to sign another midfielder by the end of the window. Fingers crossed they don't. Fingers crossed they don't get a DM, so they lack balance and have a really bad season, but they just did beat Newcastle. But, you know, for me, it's like this is a £17 million player that we need. I just don't get my head around how United haven't put a bid on, because Liverpool are, you know, like every other club would have done bids. Liverpool, yes, they got rejected by Caicedo and they're a laughing stock, but this is what annoys me is Liverpool fans go FSG out, SFG out, they're so much worse than the Glazers. I'm like, how can FSG be worse than the Glazers when they were willing to bid 110 million to get Caicedo when you'd already signed 3 players? Man United would only bid 100 million if that player was the priority and we'd been linked to them for 4 months and we hadn't signed anyone else. You know, your owners put 110 million bid down to sign Moises Caicedo, and our owners won't even put 17 million on to match Forest's bid for Amrabat. And they're saying they're broke and they can only do a loan deal when it's actually been proven that Man United will not get in any FFP trouble. We're not on the FFP watch list, and we could actually spend up to 48 million pounds more, I've read, without getting in trouble with FFP. And that 48 million is lenient. Man United could probably spend up to 60 million more before they actually cross the FFP territory and boundary. But you know, Manchester United just like to make those kind of excuses as well. So it's an absolute disgrace, as Michael Jones has said. David G. Bree Brooks has said, Amrabat will be good for us. We're so slow to sign, but at least we've been patient in case he's really wants to join us. I think the fact that Amrabat really wants to join us is really good as well. Just out, Besiktas are not in for Greenwood. Man United may have to terminate Greenwood's contract, because if he doesn't get a loan deal, what we're going to do? Keep him here for a year, but tell him he can't train or play with us? Like, at the end of the day, you know, feelings of Greenwood aside, it's not fair that we treat Greenwood like that. We need to just adios, let him go, let him do his thing. Charges drops, terminate his contract, let him go out on loan, because he's not finding a move either as well. People are saying Amrabat's going to go to Liverpool. Someone said there's a story coming out that Liverpool have put in a bid for Amrabat. Is a story just broke that Liverpool have put in a bid for Amrabat? Am I being trolled? Someone's just said that Liverpool have put in a bid for Amrabat that's been accepted. I don't know if that was just a troll. Let me just check. If Liverpool have put in a bid for Amrabat that's been accepted, that would be worrying. Just come out now, breaking news, people. Nothing to do with Liverpool, but Manchester United did make a £2 million bid for Amrabat. This is just laughable. This is just, like, guys, let me get this out here. This is breaking news here. Look, I can't believe this. Fiorentina rejected the 2 million loan bid for Amrabat. 2 million loan bid. Bloody, I mean, at least we've made a bid. Now, what I am going to say to you, and this is really positive, listen to this. Listen to what I've got to say, because I might have waffled a bit, but this is what I'm going to say, and this is important, and this is why we shouldn't be negative. Man United's first bid for Mason Mount was £45 million. No, Man United's first bid for Mason Mount was £40 million with £5 million in add-ons. Man United's second bid for Mason Mount was £45 million with £5 million in add-ons. Man United's third and final bid for Mason Mount was £50 million with £5 million in add-ons. Done deal. Man United's first bid for Onana was £30 million with £5 million add-ons. Man United's second bid for Onana was £35 million with £5 million add-ons. Man United's third and final bid for Onana was about £37 million with £5 million add-ons. Done deal. Our first bid for Rasmus Højlund was about £40 million. Our second bid for Rasmus Højlund was £50 million. And our third bid and our final bid for Rasmus Højlund was £60 million with £12 million add-ons, and only £4 million of the add-ons are achievable. So totally, technically, £4 million add-ons unless Højlund becomes Haaland, essentially. So the way I see it is, Man United put a £2 million loan bid in for Amrabat. That's been rejected. Man United will put in a £4 million loan bid for Amrabat. That will be rejected. United will put in a £5 million loan bid for Amrabat with an obligation to buy. That will be accepted. And that was what I was talking about at the beginning of the live stream. I said at the start of my live stream, before this story broke, at the start of this live stream, I said before this story broke, my sources said to me that United are going back in with another loan offer. The Athletic have confirmed the first loan offer is rejected. From what I'm hearing, and this will probably break later if this source is correct, United are now putting another loan bid in. So if you look at it, and we know that Fiorentina are open to loan deals, it's been confirmed by good sources that Fiorentina are open to loan deals as long as Man United don't take the mick, because people will say, but Alice, how can Man United do a loan deal for Amrabat if he's only got 1 year left on his contract? Well, this is the thing. He's got an option to extend. Fiorentina trigger the option to extend his contract. He's technically got 2 years left on his contract. They can do a loan deal with an obligation to buy. That is what's being worked on right now. My sources said to me, we're going to put in another loan bid for Amrabat. It's not a case of Fiorentina won't loan the guy. It's the fact that Man United need to put in a better loan bid and an obligation to buy, or an option to buy at the end. So essentially, Man United are now working on a second loan bid, which is the first one that's been rejected. So although it's unlikely that they will do a permanent deal and that they will match Forest's 17 million fee, the fact that Man United are going to put in a second loan bid probably tonight, and if that's rejected, probably another one tomorrow, which third time lucky will probably be accepted. Done deal. Here we go. I think this is a positive indication that this deal will be done. I do. I think this is a positive indication, and I would say positive as well. I mean, 2 million is a joke, but that's Manchester United for you. It's funny that we put 3 million in for Cucurella and 2 million in for Amrabat, when arguably Amrabat's a lot better and a lot more important as well. The Athletic have reported about Amrabat as well. Amrabat turned down the bin dippers. Amrabat turned down a lot of reports. I reckon a 5 million loan bid would get this done. 5 million loan bid. I'm trying to refresh the page, but my computer keeps freezing as well. But I'm just going to see what else has been said by the Athletic on the story. The Athletic said that Manchester United's loan bid for Amrabat included 2 installments, a 1 million and a break clause, which would come into effect in January and would be prior to a second installment. Fiorentina rejected this if they'd only be guaranteed 1 million. Oh my! Oh my! We are acting like Poverty FC. We are acting like Poverty FC. It's not even a 2 million loan bid, guys. It's we can give you 1 million now, and then we might give you 1 million in January. We put 3 million down for Cucurella. Oh my! We're Poverty FC. Mate, oh my! Why are we acting? We're not this poor. We're not this poor. Our owners are stingy. This is embarrassing. 1 million, and then we said we'll give you another 1 million maybe in January, but it's not guaranteed. So we won't even give them a 2 million loan fee. That is comical. That is Glazeronomics for you. That is comical. When Liverpool do their FSG out, you put 110 million down for Moises Caicedo. We are doing 1 million now. 1 million in. Yeah, I mean, we've just sold Teden Mengi for 1 million, and we've just sold Emeram for 1 million. So, you know, surely we could actually at least afford the 2 million up front. I mean, when you think a story about Man United can't get any more Man United like, it just does, doesn't it? It just does as well. It just shows how dire our finances are. FFP isn't an issue. It's due to lack of funds. Everything is in debt, which is going unsustainable. Exactly. And look, if there's one positive thing to come out of this story, guys, and listen up to this, if there's one real positive thing to come out of this story, this proves to you the Glazers can't stay. A lot of people are worried. A lot of people are concerned about things coming on as well. And look, this whole story, this whole situation has just proven to you guys and everyone that Mason Greenwood, not Mason Greenwood. I've just read something on Mason Greenwood. Bloody hell. This whole story proves to you and proves to me and proves to everybody that the Glazers physically cannot stay at United, because as Alex has said, a lot of people are worried with the takeover. What's going on with the takeover, Alice? This or that. The fact that we would do 1 million now and then 1 million later and then this and then that, because we are actually broke. It's not about FFP. It's the fact that everything inside Manchester United is unsustainable. There's a severe lack of funds. Manchester United is completely broke. So this whole situation is, again, an indication of, okay, yes, everything's not good for transfers, but the Glazers, unless some idiot minority investor, and I tell you what, if a minority investor even dares, gives this Glazer an opportunity to stay, I'll be annoyed. I can't do anything. Can't just go beat you up. But look, if a minority investor even gives the Glazers an opportunity to stay at the club, I tell you, they get it. But the Glazers physically cannot stay. And the only positive to come out of this story and the highlights on the finances are the Glazers have to sell. They have to sell the club, because we are in a dire financial situation because of the debt that we are in, the debt that they've let us get in. And you know what? The Glazers have done this to themselves by running the club so badly, by running the club so unsustainably, by treating the club like how they've been treating the club. They've completely and utterly ruined this club. And they've ruined it to the point where actually with the Premier League and the money, You know, they can't make money out of this club anymore. It's the debt, it's ruining them, it's catching up on them because they've mismanaged the club so badly. And the funny thing is, there's more money in the football now than ever. The Premier League is the superpower. There's new Champions League formats. There's going to be new deals where you can sell TV rights, where you can make even more money out of United. And had the Glazers run the club properly, had the Glazers brought in a proper director of football and run the club properly, they'd have probably spent the same amount of money since Sir Alex Ferguson's left and could have about 4 Premier League titles had they actually run the club well. Because United don't need Qatar's money to be the level of Man City. United can generate so much money that as long as they're well owned with a good structure and a good strategy, can generate even more money. You know, because we don't generate the money we used to generate because we're crap at the moment. But if we were run well, if the Glazers were here and they didn't invest any money, but they ran the club well and they would spend what we need to spend and would actually, we could be in a much better position and we could be winning titles and we could have spent 1 billion instead of 1.4 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson's left and have a squad that's won 3 Champions Leagues and 4 Premier Leagues. And if we'd won 3 Champions Leagues and 4 Premier Leagues, I guarantee you the money we'd be bringing in is so much more that it would be paying off the debt. The Glazers could be taking out the dividends and they would be in a much better situation. But this is on the Glazers. They've run the club so badly that it's no longer sustainable for them to stay. So the only positive you can take out the fact that United are broken, poverty FC and all of this stuff is probably the pure fact that actually, well, at least this means the Glazers have to go. At least this means that the Glazers will be gone as well. Someone said that CUCURELLA is bad. Look, CUCURELLA isn't my first option. CUCURELLA isn't a player that I would want United to sign. But if signing CUCURELLA doesn't affect the Amrabat deal, I'm all for signing CUCURELLA because at the end of the day, he can invert into a back three in possession, which is what Ten Hag's been trying to do. He can invert into midfield in possession, which is what Ten Hag's trying to do in possession, which I think is why Ten Hag's trying to sign CUCURELLA. So I don't want CUCURELLA if it means we don't get Amrabat. If I have to choose between Amrabat and CUCURELLA, I'm choosing Amrabat any bloody day of the week. I think anyone with sense would choose Amrabat over CUCURELLA. But if CUCURELLA is coming in addition to Amrabat, Luke Shaw's injury, let's Alvaro Fernandez get regular game time, fair enough as well. Much rather be flushed with funds and figure a way to spend it. Can't deal with his crippling debt anymore, says Alex B as well. 1 billion Adidas deal, where's the money? Well, that doesn't come into place for another year or so anyway, actually. Interesting statistic for you there as well. And despite Fiorentina rejecting Manchester United's initial loan bid for Amrabat, the two clubs are set to continue talks ahead of Friday's deadline. Exactly, that's the news coming out as well. Manchester United as well. Someone says stop being angry, Alice. Qatar is our saviour. Smash that like button if you want Qatar. How many likes are we on, guys? I want to hit 500 likes before the end of the live stream. We've got a few minutes left in this live stream, so everybody that hasn't hit the like button, please do smash the like button as well. But it's mad that the Glazers stayed all over summer just to shit on us fans. You know what? It was like, you know what? We don't like. It's almost like they could have sold the club in March. Their literal. Do you know what's criminal? Is their literal plan was to sell the club in March. The Glazers were like, boom, okay, we're going to sell Man United in March. We're going to get the sale of Manchester United done in March. Bish bash bosh, wrapped up. So the whole plan was to sell Manchester United in March. That was the Glazers' plan. Obviously, it wasn't sold in March. They said it'd be sold in April. It wasn't sold in April. Obviously, they said it'd be sold in May, then they said it'd be sold in the summer. It didn't get sold. They now say it's going to be sold in October, November. Please. But it's almost like, have they just stayed to make sure we just suffer more pain? Could they have just gone for the summer? Because I guarantee you, if we had Qataris, Harry Kane would be here, Kim Min-jae would be here, Amrabat would be here, Mount would be here. I reckon our signings would be Anana, Kim Min-jae, Amrabat, Mount, Harry Kane. That's what I reckon. We'd have had 5 signings, I reckon, if we'd had Qatar in. And I reckon we'd be right now exploring a deal for someone like Gift Orban, or maybe we would have hijacked the Taremi 14 million deal. I reckon we'd have 5 signings. We'd be exploring a Gravenberch loan, depending on the McTominay situation. We'd be exploring bringing in another attacker. That's what I think had we brought Qataris in. That's what I generally think as well. David still thinks it's FFP. Well, I've done my research. You know, unless we're spending 60 million, FFP is not going to affect us. This is Man United are playing. We've got FFP, and maybe it's a negotiation tactic because last summer, and a lot of you guys might not remember this, but last summer, Manchester United claimed that they were broke because they weren't in the Champions League after the awful season we had under Ragnick and Ollie, and we could only spend 100 million. And we were saying FFP. We were saying FFP the whole of last summer. We lost 4-0 to Brentford. We went and spent 82 million on Anthony and 65 million on Casemiro. We basically, Man United, who only had 100 million to spend the whole of last summer and were putting out FFP stories the whole of last summer, lost 4-0 to Brentford, then went and spent 150 million pounds. Just to highlight that to you. Now, Man United use FFP as a negotiation tactic because if Manchester United could go and spend 60 million pounds right now if they wanted to, Man United could bring in Amrabat, they could bring in Gravenberch, and they could bring in a young attacker right now if they wanted to. They could. If we'd lost 5-0 to Forest, 5-0 to Spurs, we probably would have done that. Okay, because remember what they did for Casemiro and Antony. But United think if they pretend they're broke, they put out all these stories that they're broke and act like they're broke, it actually might help them get deals in the transfer window. So, one, United are doing this and the Glazers are doing this as an excuse not to spend. But two, this could potentially, if we get Amrabat over the line, could save us millions on Amrabat. Man United do this on purpose as a transfer negotiation tactic. They would go, okay, Amrabat's going to cost us 25 million. Maybe we could get a deal done for 17 million or a loan. That saves us 8 million, or we get a loan. This is what Man United want to do. So Man United pretend they're broke every window as a negotiation tactic. But remember, FFP, the whole of last summer. We have no money. We're not in the Champions League. We don't have the funds. We have 100 million or 120 million net spent last summer. They brought in Malacia and Martin as Ericsson, acted like it was Frankie de Jong and the transfer window was over. And Frankie de Jong was £70 million, and that's all they had left. And they were saying, that's all we've got left, £70 million. Went and spent literally just under 70 million on Casemiro and 80 million on Antony. We forked out 150 million in 48 hours when we lost 4-0 to Brentford when we said we had FFP issues and couldn't spend. So, remember that. Remember that when they're saying FFP this and FFP that, because it's just what Manchester United do as well. It has been said, despite Fiorentina rejecting Man United's initial loan bid for Amrabat, the two clubs are set to continue talks ahead of Friday's deadline, says Dan Sheldon Sport. And yeah, I 100% believe that to be the case as well. And Glazers promised Erik ten Hag would be back when they hired him. He was reluctant to join because of how previous managers had been treated as well. And I read that comment out as well. And 1.7 million loan deals taken the mick. It absolutely is as well. Breaking news. What's the breaking news? Is there breaking news? Is there like a breaking news story coming out? Am I missing something? You know what? The amount of times I get told there's breaking news and then it's like, no. Let me check. Let me refresh any news. Fiorentina's preference is a permanent sale on Amrabat, who's valued at 30 million, while a loan with an obligation to buy is also an option. Oh, we do have a good story then. We do have a story. Guys, let's get into this. So you've got a point here. You've got a point. So essentially, this isn't the point, but I'm going to get into the point. It was that despite Fiorentina rejecting the initial loan bid for Amrabat, the two clubs are set to continue talks ahead of Friday's deadline. It said that their preference is, he said that they want 30 million, which is crazy because they accepted 17 million from Nottingham Forest. The fact that they accepted 17 million from Nottingham Forest, I can't quite get my head around why the Athletic are claiming actually it's a 30 million price tag when they literally accepted a 17 million bid. But anyway, who knows on that? But as you can see here, it was said that Fiorentina's preference is a permanent sale of Amrabat, who is valued at 30 million. But I'm going to highlight this here. That I don't think that's true because they just accepted the 70 million bid. They said while a loan of obligation to buy is an option. So, and this is important because we have had a few sources that I'm not super familiar with saying that Fiorentina will do a loan deal. We believe that Fiorentina will do a loan deal, but it's just come out now and it's just been confirmed that Fiorentina will entertain loan deals. And David Ornstein says United are working on this deal. Romano said United are working on this deal. And Tier 1 sources have said Man United will sign Fiorentina if it can be done on loan. The Athletic have just come out and confirmed we can get Amrabat on loan. At the start of my live stream, if you want to scroll back right to the start, but it's a long live stream. At the start of my live stream, I said to you guys, I had a source. And I said to you guys, my source said that United have put in a bid for Amrabat and are now going to put in another loan bid for Amrabat. Because my source said that United are actually working on the loan deal for Amrabat now. Fiorentina will entertain a loan deal because Amrabat can extend his contract by a year. So I've been told from sources an hour ago, just before this story broke, that United are putting another loan offer in. So like we did with Mount, like we did with Anana, like we did with Hoyland, we put in a crap offer, another crap offer, then a better offer, then we get the offer done. United are doing that with the loan. They're changing the upfront fee, they're changing the obligation to buy. And that is why the source I spoke to said they're confident the deal will be done. So I think this is positive. I think the whole Amrabat situation is not positive because I think the way that Manchester United have handled this is an absolute joke. I think it's embarrassing in all honesty. But I think there's a lot of positivity and confidence that this deal could be done as well. Kim and Jay's a massive miss giving Varane's fragility. 100% agree. What have MUFC put out then? Sorry. Is it just the story I read out? Is it another story? Oh, but Scott McTominay has not and never really been a serious target for Bayern Munich. That's the only thing is he's a decent source, but Christian Folk's a better source than him, and he said that they want McTominay, but that's interesting as well. And then obviously what Dan Sheldon said as well, our 2 million bid, Fiorentina's preference is a permanent sale, but a loan with an obligation to buy is doable as well. But yeah, so interesting news coming out that actually McTominay is not wanted by Bayern there. That's interesting because from what I've heard, Bayern do want McTominay, but they don't want to pay 40 million, which is what United demanding. So they're looking at Paulinho at Fulham right now, Bayern Munich. So it'll be interesting to see how that deal advances and everything as well. Just my computer's so laggy at the moment as well. And our rivals wonder why we protest. This is why, because our owners are absolutely dreadful as well. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We need to get another match cancelled, hit the Glazers' pocket. I agree. Alice, I'm shaking my mouse because the batteries are going. Alice, just advice, it's Foria, not Foy. Fiorentina, I say it. I can't say it. I just can't say it, okay? Fiorentina. Do you know what I used to say? Do you know as well? I pick up things as well. When I watch someone that pronounces something wrong, that's how I constantly say it. I was always saying Hoyland. And then I watched someone call him Hoyland. And I started saying Hoyland for 2 videos. I thought, this isn't a good I was getting to. But apparently McTominay is never a serious contender. Arnold said a year ago this summer would be very tight and then overspent on many deals summer 2023. That's the thing. The amount of summers we've said, oh, we haven't got any money to spend. We're broke. And then actually United go and spend a load of money. It's crazy. 3 weeks since we've signed Hoyland, but we actually signed agreed personal terms with Amrabat 2 months ago as well. No time to faff about. Only concern is no time to waste at this point. Just sort out the deal already. Gaz is probably spot on here. Doesn't even matter who we sign. The club's a mess. The club is a mess. They could go out and sign Mbappe and Frankie de Jong. We could sign Mbappe and Frankie de Jong on deadline day, and I still want the owners out and say the transfer window's been a complete mess, despite signing Mbappe and Frankie de Jong on deadline day, because why did it take to deadline day to get the deals done? Do you know what I mean as well? Nottingham Forest bid accepted for Amrabat 17 million plus add-ons, but they're claiming that Amrabat's price tag's 30 million. There must be United tax or that as well. I'll stop supporting the club if the Glazers stay, says thing. I can never stop supporting United, but honestly, if the Glazers stay, I'll lose my mind as well. Alex B says include a 17 million obligation if he rips it up with us. Without an obligation, will be overcharged 24 as well. Yeah. And Gravenberch could be going to Liverpool now on a permanent deal. We've got some breaking news. Oh no, let me refresh. I think we've got some news about Gravenberch to Liverpool, which again, positive is that could confirm Amrabat to United, because I don't think we're ever going to get Gravenberch and Amrabat. But Gravenberch to Liverpool could maybe confirm Amrabat a bit more. So anyway, Ornstein has just said that Man United are prioritising Amrabat over Gravenberch, which is the right decision. Even if Gravenberch goes to Liverpool, Amrabat is by far more what we need than Gravenberch, 100%, because Amrabat can play as a 6. Gravenberch is a very similar profile to Mount and Ericsson. We've got Mount, we've got Ericsson, we've got still Donny, we've got Bruno. We don't need Gravenberch unless McTominay goes or Donny goes. We need Amrabat because we've got no one to replace Fred. Gravenberch won't replace Fred as well. So we massively need Amrabat over Gravenberch. I think that is just a given as well. But look, it has just been said here that Liverpool are in negotiations with Bayern Munich for a permanent signing of Gravenberch, not guaranteed to happen, but the club's discussing price. Is finances the right formal offer? And look, people will freak out. Oh my God, we're gonna lose Gravenberch to Liverpool. But I tell you this now. Do you know who'd be a better signing for Liverpool? Amrabat. Do you know who'd be a better signing for United? Amrabat. I like Ryan Gravenberch. I'm a big fan of Ryan Gravenberch. But the thing is, Liverpool need a 6. Okay? They've only got Endo. Gravenberch isn't a 6, he's an 8. Man United need a 6. Gravenberch is an 8. I love Gravenberch, but Liverpool need Amrabat more than they need Gravenberch. And Man United need Amrabat more than they need Gravenberch. So, look, the fact that Liverpool are in for Gravenberch and the fact that we're in for Amrabat today says to me, and the fact that David Ornstein's confirmed that we're in for Amrabat over Gravenberch, that pretty much says to me, United will get Amrabat, Liverpool will get Gravenberch if all goes to plan. And worst case scenario, Liverpool probably sign both because we're absolutely incompetent. But I think, you know what, Liverpool might not sign a 6. And we might get Amrabat. But knowing Liverpool, they'll sign Gravenberch and they'll come for Amrabat just to spite us if we take longer. And I know that Amrabat's rejected Liverpool, but if we get to deadline day and United haven't done anything, Amrabat will move anyway. He will move anyway because they'll say, well, you're not coming for me now, so I might as well go to Liverpool. So United, please do get Amrabat done. But I don't think that's particularly bad news. I just think it's annoying if he goes. But yeah, Gravenberch looks like he's going to Liverpool. And even if we sign Amrabat, Gravenberch and Cucurella, we still lost grounds on rivals this summer, 100% as well. I mean, we should have got both, as Jamie said, absolute spot on. We really should have got both as well. Amrabat and CUCURELLA on loan, striker then if Gravenberch is going to pull. Look, for me, if I could do 2 more loan signings, it wouldn't be Amrabat and Gravenberch. If I could do 2 more signings after CUCURELLA and Bayondir, it wouldn't be Amrabat and Gravenberch. It would be Amrabat, and it'll be someone like Marcus Leonardo or Gift Orban. For me, if someone said you can sign Amrabat and Gravenberch, and I love Gravenberch, I'm a big admirer of Gravenberch, or you can sign Amrabat and another attacker, I'd sign Amrabat and another attacker. So, you know, I like Gravenberch, but for me, it was only necessary if someone like McTominay went. He might not go to Liverpool because at the end of the day, people don't remember this, but Gravenberch's preference is Man United. If Man United and Liverpool both put in a 25 million bid for Gravenberch and Bayern accepted that, Gravenberch would choose United because of Ten Hag. And if people don't believe that, I mean, Chelsea finished 12th last season and Lavia and Caicedo still chose Chelsea over Liverpool. So that's the way you look at it as well. Gravenberch does want to join Liverpool, obviously, because he wants to leave Bayern Munich. He wants game time. A year at Bayern Munich's been hell. And basically, if Gravenberch stays at Bayern Munich, he will just be Donny van de Beek. Gravenberch doesn't want to turn into Donny van de Beek 2.0. The last thing Gravenberch wants is to turn into Donny van de Beek 2.0. So Gravenberch is essentially just basically waiting for his move. And he's like, well, look, if Man United aren't going to get me, and I've just been told today Man United are going for Amrabat instead of me, I'm going to go to Liverpool. And do you know what's funny about this? And Liverpool fans won't point this out. You'll get a silly Liverpool fans say, oh, look, he rejected United. Oh, look, he rejected United. You'll get all these silly Liverpool fans come out. Oh, we rejected United. Oh, we rejected United. No, he didn't. Do you think it's not funny that Liverpool have been in for Gravenberch for 3 weeks? And then the day that it comes out that Man United picked Amrabat over Gravenberch, all of a sudden Liverpool advancing on Gravenberch. Do you not think that's funny, Liverpool fans? Do you not think there could be a little coincidence in the pure fact that actually, well, you know, you've been interested in Gravenberch for a while, but you only make a move for Gravenberch when it comes out that we were in for Amrabat over Gravenberch because, surprise, surprise, Gravenberch was waiting for United, found out it wasn't going to be United. Cool, I'll go to Liverpool. That's what it seems to be with the whole Gravenberch situation, essentially, as well. Can we resign Fred, please, says David? Amrabat and CUCURELLA on loan, striker, then if Gravenberch is going to pull. That's what I'd do as well. And even if we sign Amrabat, Gravenberch and CUCURELLA, we still lost grounds on our rivals this summer, says Alex B. Agents working hard as well. Agents working hard, and Gravenberch could be going on loan to Liverpool. Guys, please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks People if you're new. I have to say this has been a really good live stream because obviously towards the end of the transfer window, I've been doing a lot longer live streams at the moment, but it's quite nice to just have a chat with you guys, talk about transfers, talk about scenarios, and I've actually been quite enjoying these sort of longer live streams on the channel at the moment as well. Someone said, can we re-sign Fred? I mean, if we don't get Amrabat, the Fred missing out, Fred would be silly. Selling Fred, getting Amrabat in, brilliant. Selling Fred, no replacement for Fred would be stupid because I know a lot of people didn't rate Fred. But Fred was better than McTominay, and I think Fred towards the second half of last season was arguably Manchester United's most important player. I thought Fred was a really important and crucial player at the end of last season as well. Amrabat, CUCURELLA and a lone striker, then if Gravenberch is going to pull. Yeah, I think I read out that comment, didn't I? Sorry, I'm reading out the Zoom comment here as well. So we've got 1 or 2 last stories to get into. Really interesting news still coming out. I mean, today has just been absolutely crazy for news, so I do want to get into these final stories. There was a bit of stuff going on with the takeover today, but I think you know with the takeover it's a bit boring. But breaking news just now, breaking news for you guys, breaking news, people. Let me get into some breaking news. Trying to get this up here. Here we go. Breaking news, people. Breaking. Galatasaray have made an approach for Man United's Donny van de Beek. Lorient have also registered an interest, but talks with Galatasaray more advanced. It seems that Donny van de Beek would rather go to Turkey than go to French League. And to be honest, the Turkish League's probably better than the French League. Can't lie to you. The French League's dead unless you're playing for PSG. So, you know what? Fair play to Donny on that. So, Donny's situation seems to be advancing on all of that, people, as well. People saying, will Man United make a 17 million bid for Amrabat? Do you seriously think Man United are going to make a 17 million bid for Amrabat? Look, I'd be absolutely shocked if we made a 17 million bid for Amrabat. I want us to make a 17 million bid for Amrabat, but it's very unlike Manchester United as well. Very unlike. But my StreamYard is completely paused, people. My whole stream system is lagging here. I can't see the live chat. So 1 sec. I just need to refresh something. But I can't seem to see the live chat. It's been an absolute. bear with me 2 seconds because I want to get something for you guys before I end the live stream. But my whole system is frozen. I swear to God, we're having a really good live. I can't have a good live stream without technical issues these days. You're joking. You're joking. Yeah, my whole StreamYard's completely frozen as well. Absolutely completely frozen. Yeah, look, your live chats aren't coming out, so it's probably going to lag now. But none of the live chats in the last 5 minutes have gone up. It's completely frozen, basically, and I'm not sure why. I don't know why. So I do apologise for that. I'm just refreshing it so I can get the live chats up again as well. Yash says Cucurella will surprise many people. Mark my words. What I'm doing now is I'm actually watching my own live stream so I can see the live chat because my streaming is completely frozen when it comes to live chat, which means the live stream is going to be laggy. People say Donny need to leave. David says long live streams for the win. Stressful Alice. Amrabat United, not Liverpool. Yeah, Amrabat and Gravenberch United, not Liverpool. But if they aren't going to go to United, they go to Liverpool. But their preferences is Amrabat. The kids' backs is Marcus Leonardo, Amrabat centre back, bare minimum. I agree. Right now, for the proper club, we'd have Marcus Leonardo, we'd have Amrabat, and we'd have Teden right now. And Maguire would absolutely F off. But unfortunately, we're not. Is it going to be Gakpo 2.0 with Amrabat? I don't think so, unless we mess it up as well. Donny Harrop can go. I think Donny going out on loan almost confirms Amrabat because I don't think Man United would approve a Donny loan if they weren't going to get replacement in, considering we didn't replace Fred. So I think that confirms Amrabat. And buying high and selling low is never a good business in practice, says Paul. I agree. And hopefully, loan club pays Donny's wages. Have a feeling we'll pay a good amount of them, unfortunately. Yeah, obviously, I think Turkish clubs do have a bit of money, so I have to see what happens with that. But I so apologise that the live stream is completely frozen here as well. So annoying as well, but I can't see all the chats. I'm going to refresh, but it might end the live stream. So if the live stream cuts off right now, I'm really sorry. I'm just refreshing the page. Oh, there's 2 of me. I don't know if this is working. Don't know if this is working. Hopefully, Lawn Club plays Donny's wages. Let's go, boys. Work. Can you see me? Can you see me? Am I live? Is it working? Have we got any technical issues? My live stream is really laggy right now. If I could share my screen and show this software, it's really laggy right now. But the chats are coming in saying let's go crazy and all of that as well. But I can't see the view count, so I'm gonna have to end the live stream here because we've got too many technical issues right now. So unless there's another story breaking, I think I'm gonna have to end the live stream because technical issues aren't going well. It's been said that Sevilla and Everton have held talks for a loan move for Hannibal Mejbri. And all of that. But look, basically, my whole laptop is completely frozen. So I'm going to end the live here. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.